Assalamu alaikum friends of grade 6. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and enjoying good health. I am your English teacher present here once again with English grammar lessons for grade 6. You will open your books at page number 17. We are going to start our lesson number 4, adjectives. Earlier in the lesson number 2, we have studied the definition of adjectives. Adjectives are the nouns that tell us about the quality or quantity of a noun. Here we are going to study the types of adjective. The types of adjective are equative, comparative and superlative. Read the following sentences. Robert is a tall boy. Robert's father is tall. Robert is tall too. These both are adjectives. Tall is the quality of Robert and Robert's father. Robert is as tall as his father. It is equative adjective because Robert's height is compared with his father's height. And the next sentence is Robert is not as tall as his father. Here negative sentence is being used, so it is negative equative adjective. Robert is taller than his father. It is comparative adjective because here the comparison has been done between the two persons, Robert and his father. So, a sentence in which the two persons are compared, their quality or quantity is compared, it is called comparative adjective. Here the quality of Robert and his father is being compared, so it is comparative adjective. Robert is the tallest in his family. It is superlative adjective. Superlative adjectives are those adjectives which compare the qualities of 3 or more persons. So it is superlative adjective. Equative adjectives are marked by the words as or not as. Comparative adjectives compare qualities of 2 persons or things. They are followed by the word than. Superlative adjectives compare qualities of 3 or more than 3 persons or things. They are preceded by the word the. So friends, these are the types of adjective: equative adjective, comparative adjectives and superlative adjectives. You will learn these definitions properly because we are going to use them in our exercises. So our exercise number 1 is let us understand. Copy the following sentences in your notebook, underline the adjectives and say what kind of adjectives they are. Also put a box around the noun or pronoun they are describing. So here are 2 tasks for you in these sentences. At first you will tell what kind of adjective is being used in a sentence and you will highlight the noun or pronoun. So let's start. Number 1. Our presentation was as good as theirs. Here as good as is equative adjective and presentation is noun. Number 2. The red frog was not as pretty as the blue one. As pretty as is negative equative adjective and red frog is noun. Number 3. Over a period of time, Helen proved to be more intelligent than him. Helen is noun here and more intelligent than him is comparative adjective. Number 4. His walk is slower than a snail. Walk is noun and slower than a snail is comparative adjective. Number 5. Which is the most beautiful beach in the world? Here the most beautiful is superlative adjective and the word beach is noun. Number 6. Betty is the youngest student in the class. Betty is noun and the youngest is superlative adjective. Next exercise is for practice. Copy the sentences below in your notebook. Fill in the blanks with equative adjectives using the words in the brackets. So here we are going to use only equative adjectives. Number 1. The new canteen was as big as the old one. Number 2. The new series of children's stories is as exciting as the previous series. The month of January has as days as the month of May. The new school building is as spacious as the previous one. Friends, exercise B we are going to grasp. We are not going to solve this exercise. So friends, now at page number 19 we move towards our next exercise, exercise C. Copy the sentences given below in your notebook. Fill in the blanks with superlative forms of adjective given in the brackets. Use most or est. So here we are going to use only superlative adjectives. Number 1. Among the 3 friends, Nick has the biggest house. Number 2. He has the largest collection of toys among his friends. Number 3. She is the cleverest girl in the class. Number 4. Cleopatra was considered the most beautiful lady in the world. Number 5. Paris is the most fashionable city in the world. Now we are going to solve our extended exercise. Modify the adjectives given in the brackets and fill in the blanks. Complete this exercise in your notebook. Daisy's story is one of the saddest stories you could have ever heard, said Matilda, a friend of mine. Poor thing, she was one of the most beautiful children I have ever seen, but she was also the most neglected child. Her parents often beat her up mercilessly and kept her starved. Daisy was becoming thinner and weaker by the day. The other day, she knocked at my house and begged for some water. She was so thirsty that she drank 7 glasses of water in one go. Very often, I would see her sitting near the rabbit's cage eating cabbage leaves and other food offered to the rabbits. I knew then how hungry she was. Last week, she was given the worst treatment. She was locked out of the house for 3 nights at a stretch. Those were the coldest nights of the year. So friends, we have completed this story by using superlative and comparative adjectives. Friends, you will solve all these exercises on your books and learn them. So students, now we are moving towards our next lesson, lesson number 5, phrasal verb. At first we shall discuss what are phrasal verbs. You will highlight this definition and learn it. A phrasal verb is a set of 2 words which contains a verb followed by a preposition. So a set of 2 words which has a verb and it has a preposition in it is called a phrasal verb. Read the sentences below. Number 1. Stella looks after her sister very well. Looks after is a phrasal verb because looks is a verb and after is preposition. John called on his friend on his way to the market. Called on is phrasal verb. The verbs look and called are followed by the prepositions after and on. So these are phrasal verbs. Such verbs which are followed by a preposition are called phrasal verbs. So let us solve our exercises. Let us understand. Underline the phrasal verbs in the following sentences. I must fill up petrol in my motorbike. Fill up is a phrasal verb. Number 2. War broke out between the 2 countries. Here, broke out is phrasal verb. The racing car blew up after it crashed into the fence. Blew up is a phrasal verb. Number 4. The storm has blown over. Blown over is a phrasal verb. You will underline all these phrasal verbs. So we are moving towards our practice exercise. Copy the sentences below in your notebook. Complete them with a suitable phrasal verb from the list given below. Remember, there are more phrases than you need. So we are given some phrasal verbs here. We are asked to fill these blanks by using the given phrasal verbs. So let us start. Number 1. He tried his best to solve the problem, but when he couldn't, he just gave up. Here we will write the phrasal verb gave up, that is gave up. Number 2, the teacher asked all the students to write down. Write down. Here is write down the homework for the day. Number 3, she turned off all the lights before going to bed. Turned off. It is the phrasal verb turned off. Number 4, the shops closed down after 8 o'clock in the evening. Here we will write the phrasal verb close down. So here is the verb close down. Friends, now come towards next exercise at next page. Exercise B. Use the following phrasal verbs in sentences of your own. Here you are given some phrasal verb you will use in your sentences. It is your homework. You will solve it by your own. we are going to solve our exercise C. Copy the following sentences in your notebook. Choose the correct phrasal verb from the options given. Here we are given two options, true phrasal verbs. We are going to choose the right one for our sentence. Number 1, the Pied Piper stepped into the street and all the rats followed him. Number 2, Harry always comes up with great ideas. Number 3, he was so put off with his friend's behavior that he decided not to help him anymore. Number 4, the car driver lost his control and car crashed against a tree. Number 5, he was advised to give up smoking. Now we are going to solve extended exercise. Copy the following passage in your notebook. Complete it by filling in the blanks with a phrasal verb from the list given below. So here we are giving a passage and there are some phrasal verbs. We will use these phrasal verbs in the blanks to complete this passage. 53 base jumpers jumped off the top of the world's 4th tallest building yesterday. Hundreds of people had turned out to watch the group jumping off the 1,389 feet broadcasting tower in the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur. When asked why these jumpers indulge in such risky sports, the jumpers said they did it just for the thrill of it. They chose Malaysia to satisfy this urge because Malaysia happens to be one of the few countries in the world where the extreme sport of base jumping, leaping off tall buildings, bridges and cliffs with a parachute is legal. However, the jumpers also made to sign insurance waivers. So friends, you will solve all these exercises in your books and learn them. Students, now we are moving towards our next topic of English grammar, that is tenses. There are 3 types of tenses: present, past and future. In the earlier videos, we have discussed our 2 types, present simple tense and past simple tense. In this video, we are going to study future simple tense. At first, we shall discuss the definition of this tense. It is used to express an action which has not occurred yet and will occur in future. So, the action that has not occurred yet, that has not started, and it will occur in future. It will be happened in the coming time. It is called future simple tense. For example, I shall go to zoo tomorrow. In this sentence, I shall go to zoo tomorrow. I shall go tomorrow. I have not gone to zoo yet. I shall go tomorrow in the coming time. So it is future simple tense. The rule number 1 of this tense is that auxiliary verbs or helping verbs will or shall are used in sentences. First form of verb is used as main verb in sentences. So now we are going to discuss the structure of sentences. At first we shall discuss positive sentences. The structure of positive sentences: subject, helping verb, V1 or first form of verb and object. So we shall use subject first of all, the person who is doing an action, and helping verb, will or shall, and first form of verb will be used, and then we shall apply object. Our rule number 2 is the use of will and shall. We shall use shall with I and we. If our subject is I and we, here the auxiliary verb or helping verb shall is used. And if our subject is he, she, it, you, they and all other subjects except I and we, then the helping verb will is used. Examples are: I shall buy a computer. In this sentence, according to our structure, I is subject, shall is helping verb, and by is first form of verb, computer is object. Second example is they will come here. They is subject, will helping verb, and come is V1. There is no object in this sentence. In sentence number 3, we shall run a race. We is subject, shall is helping verb, run is first form of verb, and race is object. Friends, you will make 10 more sentences like these sentences of future simple tense positive sentences. Now we move towards negative sentences. We have discussed positive sentences. Now it's time to discuss negative sentences. The structure of negative sentences is that subject, helping verb, not, first form of verb, and object. Its examples are I shall not buy a computer. As it is negative, so we'll use the word not. In this sentence, I is subject, shall is helping verb, not has been used because it is negative sentence. By is first form of verb and computer is object. They will not come here. Third example is we shall not run a race. These were negative sentences. Now we move towards interrogative sentences. The structure of interrogative sentences is that helping verb will be used first of all, then subject, and then first form of verb, and then object. In the last we shall apply question mark. Its examples are shall I buy a computer. Here helping verb has been used first of all, shall. I is subject, by is first form of verb, object is computer, and in the last we have used question mark. Example number 2, will they come here? Helping verb is will, they is subject, come is first form of verb, and question mark. Example number 3, shall we run a race? So friends, you will make 10 more sentences of negative sentences just like this, and 10 more sentences as interrogative sentences just like these sentences in your notebook. This was your future simple tense. Do practice at home for further understanding.